Okay. All right, Dina, it says we're being live streamed, so we can be official now. We can be official now. So, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Dina. We are here with you today to implement something that I felt like I should be doing way back in in May. All right, Dina, it says we're being live streamed, so we can be official. All right. Woo. So, I felt like I should do a Failing Forward Fridays because I know that I get to experience this a lot, and so does Dina. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Tracy Huff, the confidence coach. I am the owner of Family Martial Arts Academy, and I have FMAA Next Level Coaching. And then here's Dina Goodman, my good friend.
Hello, everyone. Dina Goodman from Boone Trail Fit Body Boot Camp.
Yeah, Fit Body Boot Camp. You can't say Fit Body, but you gotta say Fit Body Boot Camp.
Fit Body Boot Camp.
And we get to experience it with the customers that we help. That fear of failing creates like immobilizes people. Like it stops them from taking like the first step into anything. And
debilitating.
Yeah, it totally can be. So the mission and the purpose of Failing Forward Fridays is for Dina and I to share with you our failures so that you don't feel alone. Right.
And there are plenty.
Yes, plenty, because we are all about the epic fail. When it's with my martial arts students, it's about the epic try, right? Because everyone can try. But it's just to help desensitize you to the outcome, because we can learn something from everything that we do, but when we don't try to do anything different, we absolutely don't get to learn anything. We don't get to grow, and we don't get any different results. So that's what Failing Forward Friday is about. And so that's what we're here to do today, because we know it's an integral part of success, and learning how to fail forward from John Maxwell. He has a book on failing forward. Learning how to do it and how to do it in a real way is a key part of being successful. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's why Gina and I, we know each other because we're in our BNI chapter together. But we also got to get to know each other through podcasts and just interacting and doing business with each other. And we found out we have a lot in common.
Very much so, down to the sense of humor, everybody.
And that we both like to break out in song randomly.
We know the words to just about everything.
Yeah. And if we don't, we can bring each other along. So
exactly.
Both veterans were both of our families did not like our husbands when we first got together with them, right? We're both women in male dominated industries. We both like to break out in song. We both have a lot of energy all the time. We both choose to be happy regardless of whatever's going on. What did I miss, Dina?
We we're in sync. Have you ever met those people that you're just automatically in sync with? You just flow.
Yes.
We flow in the same direction.
Yeah, we do. We flow in the same direction. And so as we started to recognize this about each other, we said, we need to just get together and do something with this, because everyone doesn't have that person in their life, and we're here to be those people for you. So now you have us if you're watching this or catching this on a replay. So that's what we're going to do. So today, the first episode, this is the very first, we are going to just share with you one of the places where we failed and how we learned from it, how we failed forward with it, and what we got to create in our lives with it. So Dina, do you want to go first, since I've been doing all the talking?
Yes, I can, Tracy. So you guys, as we mentioned before, I'm Dina from Boone Trail Fit Body Boot Camp in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And in my 55 years, I have seen a lot of failure in my life, and it has helped me grow. It was absolutely integral. It was very important that I had to have those to be who I am today, you see. So failure is not a bad thing. It can actually be a good thing, you guys. So I want to say one big mistake I made, and I made this based on the decision of my parents. And we all have parents that want the best for us, and most of us do anyway. And they want the best for us, and they want us to grow and, be doctors and lawyers. At least it was back in the day when I was growing up. Well, my parents wanted me to be a lawyer. I had graduated from college with a criminal justice degree, and my dad said, "What are you going to do next?" And I said, well, I don't know, Dad. I mean, there's so many options there. He goes, well, I think, we think maybe you should try law school. And I said, law school? I don't know if I'll be good at that. I don't think I want to do that. And so anyway, what did I do? I applied for law school, and I think I felt guilty because my dad actually hawked a watch to get me to pay the $75 at the time application fee. And my mind wasn't in it. I was doing it to please my parents. I was trying to fit a circle into a square peg, which is my first mistake, and I was young, just trying to please my parents. I'd been in the Army.
But when did you kind of feel like, when did you feel that it was off? Because I think this is something like there's a moment when you feel like you're making a decision for the wrong reasons, right? So when did you feel like it was, because you said you felt guilty. So when did the guilt start getting in there? Early?
Early, because I'd always wanted to please my parents, and I see how hard they worked. Yeah. And, there's this guilt that goes with that. Well, I want to do what they want me to do. Mm-hmm. But we all have different personality types. As you know, Tracy, being a master coach, we all have different personality types. That was not in my personality type, and immediately regretted it. My heart wasn't in it. I looked around. I did not feel like I belonged, and there are a lot of great lawyers that do belong. They wanted that. It just wasn't for me. Yeah. And during summertime, I was stuck in a windowless, like skiff looking thing doing title searches, and no one looked happy to me. And I was like, I want to be in the sunshine. I want to be in a field where I can enjoy myself. I'd just done 6 years in the Army. It was before I went into the Navy. Mm-hmm. And I failed it miserably because my heart wasn't in it. I felt like I could, out of everything I seemed to succeed in, there was one thing I just could not succeed in, because it wasn't
really hard. It felt really hard. Like when it feels like really hard, or really like you're always fighting yourself to stay motivated to do it too. Yes. Right. I think
that was no joy.
Yeah. When there was no joy in it. So then what was the lesson that you took away from that experience that you've applied since then?
Well, now that I'm older in years, I realize you cannot do something to make other people happy. You have to enter a field that you're meant to be in that makes you happy, and you can't fit a circle peg into a square hole or square. You see, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to be in a position where our minds are in that job or in that field or in that place. You see, we can't force it. Forcing it doesn't work, and we can't make other people happy by doing it. We all want to please our parents, usually, and that was my thing. But it was a mistake. It wound up, I learned a lot now, and I did have good friends that did graduate because that's what they wanted to do, and they flourished in the field. It just was not for me. And that was a big
in your back pocket.
Yeah, it was not, Tracy. It was it was, I'd say, very awkward.
Okay.
Not even my personality matched. Yeah. And I'm larger than life sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. We do like to just be big and loud and happy. And all right. So now, like, what do you do, or how do you use that lesson when you're making decisions now?
So now I tell people, my clients, well, for myself, first of all, I always, pray about it first, make sure it's in line with what I'm supposed to do. And then I say, if this is what I'm supposed to do, there's going to be bumps, but I'm going to know inside that I'm meant to be here. Obviously, there's going to be bumps and there's going to be failures, but you're going to know, you're going to feel it. I'm supposed to be here, but I'm going to learn from this lesson, and then also I tell my clients, I said, this is your journey, no one else's. It's not about what society thinks you should weigh or this and that. It's about your personal journey and you getting to the point where you want to be, that will make you happy and that feel good, So what about you, Tracy?
Yeah, so like mine was about the same thing, but I was the first person in my family that wanted to go to college. So I'm the middle child. I've got an older brother and an older sister, and then I've got 2 younger sisters underneath me. So I was smack in the middle, and of them, I was the first one that wanted to go to school. And so I wanted to go to school for fashion merchandising, which is to be a buyer.
Oh, wow.
Stores. That's what I really wanted to do. That now, if I had known that the field of mixology was a thing, I would totally been a mixologist, and then I would be somebody's personal bartender right now. But I didn't know that existed then.
On a yacht.
Yeah, on a yacht. Exactly. Or a private jet.
I'm not picky.
But I that's what I wanted to do. I really like that. I like to sew, I like to create things, I like to make things. It puts me in a very happy place. And so I told my dad, I want to go to college, and I want to go to college for fashion merchandising. And he said, absolutely not. And I was like, screw, what? What do you mean, absolutely not? And he's like, I'm not paying for that. Like, I'm not going to find a way to pay for that because that is frivolous and it doesn't matter and blah, 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 blah. And so he's like, if you want to go to school, then you're going to have to go for business. And I thought, I don't want to go for business. I want to go for fashion merchandising. So as I talked to my teacher, that I had actually had a class in high school where we got to do those things. And she said, take this test and do the ASVAB and see where you're at. So I did that, and I found a way to pay for school by joining the military. Like, I didn't know that was an option. I scored really high. I got like the GI Bill and the Army College Fund. And so I said, fine, Dad, you don't have to pay for my school. I'll just go do 4 years in the Army and then it'll be paid for. And my original plan was to go back to Illinois because as a veteran in Illinois, I could go to school free. Like, so
Texas is the same way.
Yeah. So I had a plan. I'll go do my 4 years. I'll come back to Illinois. I'll go to school for free. I won't have to worry about anything. And then I got to my first duty station and I met my husband. And
man, that threw a rock in your plans, didn't it?
I tell everybody, and he hates it. He seduced me, impregnated me, and forced me to marry him. That was not my plan, but that's what happened.
Well, that was somebody's plan. So
yeah, it was somebody's plan. But the other part of my background is I was raised in a very religious household. So we did Bible study every night at 8:00, and I didn't go out with my friends. I didn't go out to the movies. I didn't date because we had Bible study every night at 8:00. And when we finished, I wasn't allowed to go out at that time. And who wants to go out with their friends or go out on a date before 7? So I didn't really do a lot of dating, but I was brought up very religiously. So premarital sex and all of that stuff was not something that I did. So when I got to my first duty station, and my husband, he's still my husband now, right? So this is 30 years later. When I met him and fell in love and had premarital sex, I was right there with you, Dina. I was guilt, shame. I thought less of myself for allowing myself to get pregnant. So not only did I disobey God, I disobeyed my parents, and then I allowed myself to do it not even in a smart way, right? Like, I didn't even take precautions. So then I felt stupid. So there's a lot of negative emotions around that. When that happened.
I relate to that, actually.
Yeah, so I think sometimes when we're doing those things and we're doing the things that we know are just not where we're supposed to be, all of that comes forward. Now, the lesson that I learned, though, the decision to be with my husband wasn't the bad decision. Like, that wasn't the bad decision. Like being with him was the best decision I've ever made. Again, 30 years later, here we are. We have a wonderful family. We're about to have another grandbaby. Yay, in March.
Yay!
So we've had this really great life and really full life. But the one thing that I learned is I learned to trust my instinct. Like I said, like, being with my husband was the right thing to do. And getting rid of that guilt and that shame, because my parents disowned me. My family stopped talking to me. They acted like I did
3 times.
Yeah.
I totally understand. And you know what? What's funny, some psychologists say that we spend our whole lives, even when we're in our 70s or 80s, pleasing our parents because that's ingrained in us. To please our parents, but they came from a different time, and although they may have had the best ideas and best intentions, it may not be the best for our life. And look at where your life is now. You see?
Yeah, that's so funny. You say you've been disowned 3 times. I was just once, and it stuck for ever.
Mine never stuck. They couldn't resist taking their baby girl back. All I had to do is show up at my mom's door and said,
"Yes, yeah." I didn't have that.
Egyptians do not like people to be hungry.
Yeah.
So if you say that, they'll bring you in and feed you.
Yeah, my family all of a sudden became like the mafia.
Even now?
Yeah, even now. And like I said, my son James is in his 30s. My second son, in his 20s. I've got 2 grandbabies, one grandbaby on the way. to this day. So what I learned is I learned how to create my own family, right? Because I really literally like cut me off. Every phone call I had right after everyone found out I was pregnant was all about how horrible of a person I was and how stupid I was and how could I let that happen, and that I didn't need to, raise this baby. And it was all of the things. So being in that moment where everyone is telling you to do something different, I learned to trust my instinct. And my instinct was, I did not make a bad decision. I wasn't smart, but it wasn't bad, right? So making sure that I learned that this was a man. I didn't have premarital sex lightly. It wasn't like something I was just trying to get rid of, right? I did really want to wait for that person that I loved, and I did. But when you're facing all these other people that are telling you exactly what to do, or how dumb or stupid you are, learning to trust like yourself was the biggest lesson I learned from that. So that no matter when I went forward, as I was creating new friendships and new relationships and doing in business, if I'm ever uncertain, I think back to that time when I was trusting my instinct, and I know that my instinct didn't steer me wrong. And then I can pause everyone's words and just check in with myself. Right. And like Dina said, we pray and we meditate and just check in and say, what do I feel like I need to do? Like, what do I know is the right path? And then take an action.
You have to walk your own path. We can't walk our parents' path.
Or
just like they didn't walk their parents' path.
Yeah. Right.
My grandmother didn't want my mom to marry my dad. So it's ironic. The cycle just continues.
Yeah, unless we break it, right? Unless we break it or allow our kids to break it, or support them in a different way. But yeah, so now you guys see, like me and Dina, we had similar lives.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we are in sync, because and this is more common than we think. We have people that are constantly telling us, you should do this, you should do that, and there really is. There's one person I pray to, that's the person that makes my decision. So I can't rely on all these voices because they all say different things, do this, do that.
Sometimes they're distractions. Yeah. Sometimes they're distracting you from what you're really supposed to do, right? So Dina's mission is she wants everyone to get moving because she knows, what's your favorite saying? I love what she says. Motion is lotion and
stillness is illness. And it's true, you guys. I used to say the motion is lotion part, and then another coach that I had, she was wonderful. She said, and stillness is illness. I said, where did you get that? She says, I heard it before. I said, I'm using that. So motion is lotion and stillness is illness. I want the world to keep moving, to just continue moving, because the minute that we stay sedentary, it continues and we get in that habit, and that develops bad health. And my goal is for everyone to move, just constantly move, just get up and move. Don't sit for very long. I want you to get up and move and be active in the world, active in your life,
And it doesn't have to be. I think this is the thing that, because we're military and we ran and we did this and we did that, and then I did some weight training when after I had James, and for a long time I only equated working out to those kinds of workouts, right? Until I got really sick over the last few years and had to start over from a place I never even remember being. And so making that adjustment that 10 minutes of work is just as good because I'm moving. Making myself do that walk, or parking a little bit further, or doing those things that have become really hard for me. That was a shift in my mindset that I had to make, because it all matters.
Funny you should say that, because actually some science shows that you can even do little mini workouts, like 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, that as long as you keep moving and minimize your sitting, that actually has positive effects. And it doesn't overstrain the body as well. You don't need 2-hour workout. 30 minutes is just fine,
And I learned last night, we had someone come in for the karate school, and she was an Olympic athlete. She trained at Lake Placid for track and field. I'm like, I'm surrounded by goodness. This is awesome. And so we were talking about mobility, and she had to stop training because she had an injury and she couldn't meet the trials. But I was talking about recovery and mobility. And one thing that she said, and it goes right along with what you said, is that you've got to give your muscles a chance to relax. And sometimes when we're doing these workouts and we're straining so much, we're not relaxing into our thing, because we think exercise has to be hard. It has to be be this or it has to be that. And it's really just about moving our bodies, like way back before we had all this technology that did a lot of stuff for us. Like people didn't have to exercise because doing laundry was a workout.
Or when people used to work on farms or work outside, that's interesting too, because I watch a lot of videos and stuff too. But the video was talking about, it was interesting from a health site, and it was talking about also how when we just get up, like it's better to constantly be like in a constant, even if it's a slow state of motion, than to be sitting for a long time and all of a sudden get up and have this 2-hour workout. That's actually worse because it increases cortisol levels, especially in females, which actually can when we get menopause belly around our bellies, so it's better to just continuously throughout the day.
I'm wondering too, because Netflix has those Nike 10-minute workouts now. I don't know if you know that. And
I don't. I'm gonna have to check that out now. That's interesting.
Yeah, they've got like the yoga ones, and I'm wondering if that's why they put those together, because they're like really like an amuse-bouche of physical activity, just a taste, just enough for you to be like, that was hard.
Just enough to dabble, just a tad.
Just a little bit. Yeah, that's really interesting. But that's Dina's whole purpose, and then my whole purpose is failing epically. Like we don't create anything worth anything unless we're failing epically. Most of the biggest innovations in our society have been a result of failures. And the two I like to talk about are penicillin and Viagra. Because both of
Viagra too?
Yes, Viagra too.
Viagra too?
Viagra, they were trying to create a blood pressure medicine.
Wow.
Viagra was a mistake that turned into a multi-million-dollar business.
Who tested that?
Excellent question, Dina. I wonder who found out it had a different purpose. So those are the two biggest mistakes. Like penicillin was a mistake, that turned into something great. So that's why, like, you just don't know until you fail epically, right? What you're going to create and what can come out of that, like what you learn that shifts you in a completely different way, or a skill that you learn that helps you apply it to what you're doing in a completely different way. And that's what gets me excited is finding that over and over again. The more we do it, the easier it gets. But we find what we're really good at when we're, and we surprise ourselves, right? That's how we build resiliency and the confidence to do it again. We were getting ready for a meeting, and someone got on early and they wanted to they're like, yeah, I want to test it now. I'd rather fail in front of a small group. Right. And so that's okay too. If you want to start failing in small groups, right. Or like, if you want to be like me and Dina, we don't care. We don't care. We're going to be the kids. It's like, I'm okay.
We will be vulnerable for you. We don't care. We've done it. Been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. There should be a shirt that says that,
I've got a cricket. We can make it. I got a cricket. We can make it.
I crashed the failure train with a picture of a train, and so it's so true. There's so many mistakes, we make throughout life, and we cringe because who's looking, people are like, who's looking? Oh, someone saw me make that mistake. But us being vulnerable helps more people, than it does with us pretending to be like this mountain of strength that never
that never tries.
Human.
Yeah, never needs a moment. We're all human beings. We all have those moments where we need somebody to help us get back up, to be like, are you okay? All right, come on, let's go. We got to keep going. Right. And that's really what we want this to be, is to make sure you don't feel alone. And then for me, like, if you are stuck, I have a setbacks to success call. You can book it with me. I'll help you turn that thing around, find the positive, take some action that makes you feel good. That's what I do. So that's what we're here to do. And
actually, by the way, I'm going to interrupt just to say this one thing. I was a horrible boss before. And I had Tracy come in and she talked to all of us, and now wrong.
We just talk about giving each other some grace, right? Giving each other some grace and understanding that. Thank you for saying that, Ms. Tina. Thank you. I try. I succeed, but sometimes I fail. But then I learn from it and I get better, right? Yeah. So that's what we're trying to be about. So every Friday at 8:30, Dina and I'm going to expand my epic failures to because I was sick for a while, and I've been afraid to try things again because I don't trust my body like I used to.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah. So I'm going to use the failing forward Fridays. You'll see me doing some things. I don't know. We'll see. I could fail epically. I could succeed. We'll have to wait to find out. So we're going to incorporate each other's businesses, some other businesses around town, just to push ourselves in different ways to demonstrate for you that you're not going to die if you fail.
No, you won't.
You will not.
Stronger. That which does not kill us.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. A little taller.
Was that Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah, Kelly Clarkson.
Exactly. Yeah. So
we look forward to doing this with you, for being vulnerable for you, and to inspire you to try something new today. Try something that scares you, to do something that you could fail at, so that you can be proud of that failure. You
take a chance.
Take that chance, celebrate the effort, learn the lesson to get better faster. And we will see you guys next week on Failing Forward Friday.
See you guys later. Have a wonderful day.